The Auburn Tigers right now look like the best team in college basketball, and Janai Broome has been the centerpiece of this squad's play, where he's currently averaging a double-double and is in the run for Player of the Year. Now throughout this season, Broome has been doing a majority of his work in the post, standing at 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan, while also having a pretty built-out physical frame. Broome has both the strength to bump his way to spots, plus the length to get these looks off over the defense. Watch him here first get low and drive his shoulder into the defense's midsection. Then he's going to initiate more contact on the way up, muscling up this finish. Being a lefty, Janai's favorite shot is his hook over his right shoulder, and for the most part his setup into this look is pretty straightforward. First he catches and reads the open space, then bumps his way into a balanced look. And Broome can set these shots up in a variety of ways. Like we've seen, he can initiate contact on the floor, giving himself the breathing room to lift up, or he can use these pivots to get the defense off balance. Notice here how Broome starts this post up on the left side of the floor. So in response, he's going to work his man across towards the middle, setting up this hook back over his right shoulder. We'll see him hit the exact same move here, where he first works his man across the middle, then reverse pivots back to his left. This move here is pretty tough, where Janai starts this play facing up, and he's going to rip towards the baseline, to then pick up and pivot out towards the middle, creating the space to lift up this 10-foot push shot. Now on this play, Broome initially gets caught picking up his dribble in the post, but instead of initiating contact or using his pivots, he's just going to quickly elevate up for another jump hook. And it's pretty impressive how far out Broome can knock down these looks, while being heavily off balance. Right here, he picks up with his feet facing out towards the corner, but while rising up, he's going to spin around and get himself squared up. And while Broome for sure favors turning over his right shoulder, he also has some counters in his bag. Look how heavily the defense is overplaying him on his left side, giving him this easy drop step back to his right. And Broome is also much more than just your typical lumbering post player. With his back to the basket, Janai can't surprise the defense with how quick he is. One of his go-to moves is his quick and aggressive spin, where Janai feels the defense heavily leaning on him, so in response he turns through that contact and charges towards the basket. And that quickness also carries over to Broome's face-up game on the perimeter, where for his size, he's got really good speed and control with the ball. Auburn right here is just going to have this player exchange through, and Janai is going to explode through this open space and elevate towards the rim like an elite wing slasher. Auburn is going to run a similar play here, where the guard again passes and cuts through, and Broome is going to attack towards the middle and bulldoze the basket. With the ball, I also think Broome has really good body control, where he's comfortable shifting his weight side to side to move the defense out of his frame, creating more straight line drives. Watch him here first drop down and attack to his left. And when this defender slides and cuts him off, Broome is comfortable picking up well outside the paint and spinning all the way to the basket. I like this move here, where Janai is going to catch and sink all his weight into his right foot, flowing into this in and out. And again, when the defense cuts him off, Broome has the control to spin back over to his right. And again, all this comes back to Broome's blend of ball and body control, which makes it really tough for opposing teams' bigs to guard him out on the perimeter. The footwork here is elite, where Broome's first going to pound the ball and bring his right foot up, to then skip and punch it back, pushing himself towards the basket.
Look at it, looking to blow by, lays it in.
And while playing downhill, Janai can also manipulate the ball through traffic pretty effectively. We'll see him here first beat his man on the perimeter, and watch him slice past this gap defender with this high pickup. Now Broome's scoring also extends outside the paint, where he's got a pretty good in-between mid-range game. And while he may not take these looks in super high volume, he's still very accurate from these spots, while also having a variety of ways to set these looks up, being able to pop these jumpers while facing up, or backing down and getting to these turnarounds.
Looking for his offense here.
And Broome's shot making also extends out to the three. And while his numbers so far this year haven't been great, this is only through the span of 15 games. So it's still possible that these numbers could take a pretty big jump up. And mechanically, I think Broome's got solid overall form. He's got good hand placement on the ball, feet are always set, and he gets the ball from his pocket to set point in one smooth motion. And because he's a capable shot maker, that forces his man to step up and meet him at the 3, which then reopens that attacking game. And like we've gone over, Broome's got really good quickness for his size. So if the defense steps out and pressures him, that's a guaranteed blow by.
But I tell you, Colby Rogers is an impressive player.
So as an overall on-ball scorer, I think Broome checks all the boxes. He's got elite strength, footwork, and touch in the post. He can step out and score in the mid-range or behind the 3. Plus he's also got good quickness and ball skills, which allows him to attack closeouts or break down his man on the perimeter. But Janai also does a big chunk of his scoring off the ball, and this is one of the main reasons why he's such a great fit in Auburn's stacked roster. First, I think Janai does really good work as the roller and pick and roll, both being able to catch lobs above the rim or quickly slip behind the defense for easy catch and finishes. Watch him here just simply shift up towards the ball, then dart back towards the basket, and with his momentum being pulled downhill, he's got the explosiveness to power through the backline defense. And like you just saw on that last clip, Broome's strength and control makes him really tough to deal with when catching on the short rolls. Because even if the defense positionally puts himself in the right spot, Janai can still power through for buckets. And because Broome's got really good mobility, Auburn commonly has him working off some different off-ball screening actions. One of their go-to sets is the simple cross screen for Broome in the paint, where he can come off and torch the defense with his footwork and touch. Notice here how this defender tries to cheat under, and he's pretty much dead as soon as Broome catches. And then of course all the scoring on and off the ball pulls heavy attention from the defense, which in return opens up Broome's playmaking. And I think this is arguably the best part of his game. As a passer, Janai easily does his best work in the post, where he can needle tight bounce passes to cutters or toss perfectly timed lobs above the rim. Watch him here toss this one-hand pass behind his head like he's playing horse, and he again puts the ball right on the money. And again, the foundation with all these dimes lays with Broome's ability to pull multiple defenders towards the ball. Notice here how this big shifts across the paint towards Broome, leading to another lob behind him. And Broome's biggest superpower as a passer is his ability to read the second side of the floor, where if he feels the double coming from the weak side, he has no problem lasering these skip passes, and some of his deliveries are pretty impressive. We'll see these weak side defenders here shift across the paint, so Broome's going to take one dribble out and whip this skip pass all the way over to the opposite wing.
How did he even see it?
This pass here kind of reminds me of Nikola Jokic, where off the dribble Broome's going to pick up with one hand and toss another skip pass across the court. So Broome's ability to both make tight passing reads in the paint, as well as scan the entire floor, makes it really tough for the defense to send extra help, which again leads to more one-on-one matchups for Broome in the paint. So when looking at all the skills Janai brings to the table, I think an argument can be made that he's the most complete player in the country. He can score in the paint, initiate drives on the perimeter, while also being a decent outside scorer. Plus he can capitalize on that scoring gravity with his wide array of passes. And then on top of all that, Broome is also a plus defender. So going forward, the success of Auburn in the SEC and in the NCAA tournament heavily relies on the play of Janai Broome. And while Broome is one of the best players in the country and Auburn has a ridiculous amount of talent, there's still a ton of unanswered questions in the SEC. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.